Yo, what's up? I'm Kieran Leigh. Obviously today we've got my brand new AD Customs drum kit in front of us. And for a while, a lot of people have been asking me questions on what gear I'm using, you know, whether it be cymbals or sticks or heads or what configuration I've got going on. And the same as like playing styles and everything else. And just, I've had so many drum questions over the years that I just thought it'd be easier just to give you guys a full in-depth review of my brand new kit. Now I'm obviously endorsed with AD, and a whole sort of in-depth about all the equipment I'm using, to how I'm playing, to what I'm doing, or where I came from, and really what kind of driven me to play the drums for as long as I have done. So this is pretty much it. I don't know, there's not really a name for it right now. There's one floating around which is like the beat, I can't remember what it is, it's like the Beatmobile or something, whatever it is, because I basically had this crazy idea. I'm a huge Batman fan, which like to some people they're like, what? But I love like all the old school like classic Batman films, like the 1989 one's definitely my favorite for sure. And I was born in 1995, so I basically said to Carl, I want the 1995 Batman Chronicles logo with my initials on it, which is what we've got on every single one of the drums. And at the same time, instead of just having it all flat black, I really wanted, I wanted something to pop. And my favorite color is red, but I also have a massive thing for green as well. I love just green on black. Like I've always seen green on black drums, and it's always been like the sparkles or like vice versa with black and green. And I thought, yo, the splatter is like the one thing I've always loved. I've seen a lot of drummers do it, and I've seen a lot of kits happen, but I've never seen it happen like this. So yeah, I linked up with Carl probably like a few years ago when I was doing like tours. I was doing many shows, and I emailed him, and I don't think at the time it was the right thing for me to do. I don't think I was ready for it, and I think there was things that still had to happen, in my career that kind of, swung me into that realm of a different level of playing. And yeah, I don't know how we pulled it off during a pandemic, but yeah, I'm fully endorsed with AD now. Carl's gonna build my drums for, well, as long as he gets annoyed at me for throwing ideas and stuff at him. But it was cool to basically, emailed him, and we was just on the phone like I think 10 or 15 minutes later, and it was like two friends that haven't spoken for a while just straight away connected. And yeah, within the first phone call, I knew what sizes I was gonna do, and I kind of knew the direction I wanted to go down in regards to configuration and color and stuff as well. So we kind of just had this crazy idea to kind of keep the drums shallow. Like this is a 12x6 rack, and so many people are like, why have you gone such a shallow tom? There's a reason behind it. One, it's compact. So if I'm playing with a DJ, I used to have like these big drums, like a 12x9 rack, 22 by 20 kick drum, and 16 by 14 floor. And DJs was looking at me and be like, those drums are so loud. Like they're just, you need sort of, oh, I want this kind of sound if you're gonna play with me and this and that. And I thought, nah, I'm a drummer, do you know what I mean? I don't wanna go changing my setups constantly to kind of suit others. I want things to suit me so I can go out and do these shows. So yeah, that's why I went with a really shallow rack. Not only that, they record a hell of a lot better as well. I think personally, that's my personal preference. I just think the sound that it gives out is just a really, straight in your face, it's punchy. And the kick as well, 22x16, much shallower than I've ever played, and it's the punchiest kick I've ever heard in my life, even under the mics and stuff. It's just short and snappy and just straight in your face with a big boom. And I know a lot of drummers that swear by, you know, 24 by 20s or bigger drums or bigger kicks or whatever, just to get a really big thud, but you're overcompensating for it. You really don't need anything, you know, me personally, I don't need anything anyway that's, you know, bigger than a 22, or now as shallow as anything other than a 16. So I think this is probably my perfect, you know, kick drum size. And then 16 by 14 inch floor tom is that's my usual go-to for any drum. You know, I've had 14 inch floor toms in the past. I've got along with them, they're really easy to tune, but they're just not, they're not there, you know. But 16 inch by 14, that was like a must. That's like the traditional must of any floor tom for me. So yeah, so 12, 22 and a 16. And then I've got a 14 inch by 6.5 snare. Shout out to Steve Ward on this one, because before lockdown happened and like the pandemic really blew up, he lent me this Orange County snare, and it's got 4 vents in it as well. And it's like the craziest snare. There's a really cool history about it as well. And that's just flat black too, so it goes with the kit and it just sounds crazy. So that's basically the setup I've got at the moment, size-wise and configuration-wise. But yeah, I mean, as regards to custom drums, like as far as we went, you know, loads of people wrap their drums like crazy, they put crazy colors on it, they put this and that, and we fired loads of ideas at each other, just, oh, what about this? And he was like, what about this? It was like kid in the sweet shop, because, you know, he was just excited to build this kit as I was to have the kit. So it was like, I was kind of like, I don't know, like every single time, like, I really don't know, man. And yeah, I just said to him one day, look, dude, I've got it. We're gonna go flat black, you're gonna paint the thing black. I was like, then you're gonna get green paint. I don't know how you do it, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you're gonna flick it on there. I just want it flicked on there like a blood splatter, but it's gonna be green. Then I want the Batman badges. And he was like, okay. It's just like, okay, let's just do it. And yeah, he just sent me the photos every step of the way, from like the shell to like the insides of the shell. And not a lot of people actually know that the insides of these drums are green. The insides are green, so it's like you obviously can't see them. If I put clear heads on, you'd be able to see it. And yeah, it was just a cool little quirky thing that I think I just wanted him to do, because if I ever had it lit up at a show, I'd want it to have clear heads and you know, shine through or whatever. So yeah, we did the insides green as well. And it's cool because I know that they're green and I don't really care about anyone else. I just know that everything down to the shell is fully customized, you know, from like the lugs to like the way that it's built, to like the way that he's just done all the bearing edges. Everything's done, you know, exactly how I wanted it to be. And when it arrived, I was just straight on the motorway, straight to the studio, getting it under mics. And yeah, no, it is. And I'm not even just saying it. You get so many drummers out there that get endorsed or get sponsorships. Oh, this is like the best thing I've used. But seriously, like AD Customs, this kit is the greatest kit I've ever used in my 17 to 18 years of playing. And I've played so many kits. And I've played customs, and I've played, you know, factory built ones, and I've played from bottom end to top end. And yeah, this, every single time I'll throw it at any kit, just because it does everything that I need it to do, and that little bit more as well. Yeah, you know, it's not just, you don't have to just buy kits. You know, you can buy snares, or Carl can alter things for you. You know, he's just a great guy, man, and it's a great company to be a part of, and I'm proud to be a part of it. You know, and I've waited so long to be a part of a company where, one, you're looked after, two, you know, the owner, you have one-to-one with the owner. Like, you know, I get on like a house on fire with Carl. It'd be pretty awkward if I didn't. And he's just building me drums for the sheer sake of it, you know. And a lot of companies that I've seen nowadays are just throwing these drums out. They don't care. They just get mass manufactured, and they're just not caring. And that's the one thing that I love about this. Like, even like every little bit of detail, like the way the paint is and stuff. Like, sorry, I'm so totally perving over these drums right now, but like the way that the paint sits in as well, like you know that it's not gonna flake off, or you ding it and it's not gonna chip straight away. It's just, they're really solid and they're just in. Even the wooden hoops. Like I've always had drums, like my last kit was an acrylic one that I had with another company, and those were acrylic hoops. And the one thing I found was even when you're sitting like the kick pedal onto the hoop, it just sat there and it was like the pedal would be kind of up because it was just so stable and just locked in. But with having wooden hoops, I've never had wooden hoops on a kit before, and I've always either had metal or steel or, as I said, acrylic. But with having wooden hoops, like they're cut. Everything is cut to a fine tune perfectly, to just with just the most utmost care, like even walking in the studio today, I was just like, whoa. And that's probably never gonna change, like even the front, like the way we did the front was, I said to Carl, I was like, what about if we did like, in the inlays of the hoops, like green? And he was like, oh, I'm already one step ahead of you. I was like, no fucking way. Like he's already there, like he knows what he's doing. And that's when he was like, yeah, I've done like all the insides of the shells green for you, and I've done this, and the same as the hoops, you've got black splatter. And I was just like, man, like if that isn't a guy that cares about the craft or the passion of, endorsements or sponsorships or customers or whoever it is, then I don't know what is. Even the same as the hoop, like the hoop on the front of the kick skin. I was like, okay, I want the porthole to be slap bang in the center. It's like not even off to like the left or the right. I was like, nah, it has to be in the center. And I know it looks really strange because you've just got a mic stand going straight through, but even like if you're playing live or whatever and you don't use the stand, you can just like kind of clink the the cable in and just throw the mic in the bass drum. And it's it's just so sleek. And he came up with the idea of spraying the porthole cover green, and like having the green logo on there as well. And it's just little things like that that really get to me. If I'm looking for a kit, obviously, I think all drummers like, it's like guitarists or bass players or whoever, if you play an instrument, or even some microphones, you customize them, you have them how you want to have them, because they look great, they're like, whoa, like who doesn't want something that looks great, but it sounds great as well. And I'll take sound over look any day, but this has got both, and I'm super stoked. So yeah, that's just basically the rundown of how AD and myself came to really be. It was just, I think it was meant to be. And I know that, when I get back playing shows and I tour, I'm recording my album, like my solo album at the moment, and this kit is gonna be used the whole way through it. I don't have to go changing drums around. I might change snares, or I might use smaller snares or side snares, or like percussion or different size cymbals or whatever. But yeah, I don't feel the need to constantly change the drums over, unless I'm doing like a grime song or a hip hop song and I want to use like my cocktail kit or use something smaller, then I probably will. But yeah, that's pretty much how me and the relationship with Carl and AD really came to be. So as well as the drums as well, AD custom drums, I use Remo skins, Remo Drumheads. I always have done for many, many years of my life. I've tried other drum heads as well in different variations, and I've always found that Remo are my go-to for anything. They're durable. We've got like an Emperor X on the snare, Emperor coateds on top, and this is actually, I think we're using Ambassador clears on the bottoms of the toms. I usually use Ambassador coated just to give it a really warmer sound, but actually it's showing and proven pretty good as well. It's pretty, it's one of those sounds that I can get now where I'm actually like, oh, I don't feel the need to change to coated on the bottom, unless I really want that sound. I think probably for live premises, I'll probably use coated on bottoms and just change them in and out whenever I need to. But yeah, other than that, I trust Remo. I just, I know what I'm getting. I know exactly the sound that I'm getting with it. I don't have to worry. It's the same as my sticks. You know, today, during this video, I'm using a Vater Fusion, which is a thinner stick to what I usually use. I usually use a Vater 3A fatback, and I've started to absolutely fall in love with the fatback, only because a 5A doesn't cut into 5B. You know, I've got like radial tunnel syndrome and Raynaud's disease as well, and it can affect like my joints and my hands and stuff. And I've noticed if I'm warming up with a 5B, my arms and my joints get warmed up twice as quick because it's a heavier stick for me to pull and push. But yeah, I mean, the Fusion's great. The Fusion comes as a gospel Fusion as well, which I think might be like a thicker or a lighter stick. I can't remember what the guys at Vater were telling me. But yeah, I'm digging this one at the moment, but it's great as well. If you want to use it like handle side up to play with and you want to get a beefier sound, it's super comfortable as well. And even this way as well, you know, you get like a good ride sound too. And yeah, I've used Vater for, gosh, like, I'd say I switched onto them, I think the second or third year I started playing drums. So I've used them for about 14 years solidly. I've always used Vater because they're the most durable. They last me, you know, twice as long as other sticks, and they don't cut my hands up. A lot of other brands, they've got varnish on the sticks, and they you know, they give me even worse calluses than I've already got, like all over my hands and stuff, because, you know, the stuff on the sticks just irritates my hands. And yeah, Vater, I've never ever had an issue with them, so I'll always try and test different sticks. You know, as I said, I've got an solo album I'm recording at the moment, and different stick sounds for different cymbals and on the ride, and toms and stuff and hats. You know, it all makes a difference. People probably don't think it does, but it does. Cymbals as well, I always use Zildjians, always, but I thought, you know, I'd give a go. These are called Dream. This is a company called Dream, and they're 15-inch hi-hats, and they're like a cool Turkish brand, and yeah, I dig them. You know, they're dark, they're great for what I need them for, but I usually use the 16-inch K-hats or the 14-inch K-hats, just because they've got everything I kind of need. For my hip-hop stuff, I use a 14-inch quick beat. My ride cymbal, I'm using a 21-inch sweet ride. That's like my, you know, my go-to ride with anything. You know, you can crash on it, you can ride on it. The bell's just one of the best bell on a ride I've ever heard. And I think that's a lot of drummers go-to, and that is probably the best ride cymbal Zildjian have ever made. And then my right-hand crash is a medium 19-inch crash. That's an A custom. And that's just, you know, that's pretty, you know, for an A custom usually they're thin. But this is, you know, it's thick, it's durable, I can really crash on it, you know, and even if I want to change up to like playing jazz or something, or I want a smaller setup, you can ride on it as well, and it's just got a great, you know, a great feedback sound. And then this one over here on my left side is just a standard 18-inch A custom crash. That weathers the storm pretty well because of like how flexible they are. They are meant to bend, don't panic. But yeah, they are pretty durable, you know, with crashing and stuff. They don't break as much. I think for drummers that are constantly, you know, you're playing, you know, like hard rock or metal or something that you're just beating the crap out of it. I mean, I don't know, I can't really say because I've said that now and people are going to be like, but you do beat the crap out of the drums. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not constantly on my left-hand crash, you know, I'm not constantly hitting over, I'm always on the right or I'm always on the ride, you know, like my right hand's predominantly just on this half of the kit, you know, with cymbals. My hi-hats take a hell of a beating, my snare definitely takes the impact, but yeah, as I said, the hoops on this Orange County snare are, they're stick destroyers, man, for sure. They just take a beating, so I've kind of found a snare that can handle the beating. But as I said, you know, AD, me and Carl are working on some snares at the moment, so I'm going to chop and change some snares over, so I'm super stoked to try an AD snare out as well. And as I said, everything now is just going to be AD custom drums. Pretty much through and through. So yeah, that's my cymbal setup, and I usually tend to use a China sometimes, or I use a jam block and like a cowbell or like a splash. But for the recordings I've been doing at the moment, for the single that I'm about to bring out this spring, it's just a real basic kind of like punk track, like an emo rap punk track. So I kind of just need this at the moment. This has always been my setup since I was probably like 9 or 10 when I first started. So I've never changed, you know, don't go fixing something if it isn't broken, you know, and that's, I strongly believe it, you know, like even I've been to venues and stuff before, and there's already like a backline kit there, it's just snaring, ride, crash, and hats. You're done. You don't have to go like putting loads of different Chinas on the splashes and crashes and this and that, and different racks and taking them on and off. You can just literally, I can get up on stage, do my thing. I know that everything is going to completely work for me. It's locked down. It's, you know, that's another thing. As long as everything's locked in, you know, I mean, even this, when this is moving, like, that can take a pretty big beating, and the way it wobbles sometimes, I'm thinking, oh shit, it's gonna fall over, you know, but nah, it's all good. And I haven't cracked a cymbal, touch wood, for a very, very long time, because I always change them in and out and change them for sounds and stuff. But yeah, so that's basically my cymbal selection. I always use Zildjian, as I said. I've always sworn by them. I've used other brands, I dip in and out. But my number one and my always go-to, like my religious go-to, is Zildjian, always. So yeah, that's that.